Occupying Till He Comes at Southwest Prophecy Ministries. Welcome, friends. This is David Schnitker with today's Last Days Beacon program, designed to equip you as a last day saint. Thanks for joining us. Just a reminder that these programs are supported by your gifts to this ministry. Simply go to our website, www.swpm.us, to contribute. That's www.swpm.us. We are going to continue our discussion today of our March featured DVD entitled ShowdowRing.
Runs America? I guess that's the $10,000 question, isn't it? Maybe it's the $10 billion question.
America and most countries of the world really are run by a very small percentage of the population.
Not even the President of the United States. It's the money men.
Obviously, the people in government aren't always the ones getting rich, so then you have to ask who are the ones behind it that are really getting rich, that are enjoying the benefits of this ripoff.
What happens if we slice through the back of that system? Set aside the system, you know, how you approach the power of the United States of America, how you lobby for a bill, how anyone can become president, how anyone can appeal to the people and ask for them to be voted into office. What happens if you go behind the scenes and just open the panel door and see how the system of power is really wired?
The interests of the American public have no bearing in the direction of the country, in the policy decisions. It doesn't matter which party we're talking about either. Republicans, Democrats, it's all the same thing. There's no voice for the people.
I think we're being controlled by a relatively small group of extremely powerful individuals that are pretty much pulling the strings behind both major parties, as well as the economic and financial institutions.
We're supposed to have the people being represented by the Congress, and this is a check and balance system. But instead, you have all branches of government owned by major corporations.
The folks who run America are the people who operate behind the scenes to make sure that the person who is in the seat of president and Congress and the people who we elect are the people that will do their bidding.
I think what you see is what it is, and who runs America are the banks and the multinationals. It's as simple as that as I see it. And they're the ones that have made all the decisions that have put us in the place that we're in now.
ShowdowRing is a DVD which is 137 minutes long that details the creation of the Council on Foreign Relations in 1921 and the influence it has had in American politics since that time. Let me share just some of the highlights of the film. First of all, let's talk about the leadership of the Council on Foreign Relations. The CFR was created in 1921 in consequence of the Senate's refusal to allow the U.S. entry into the League of Nations. The League of Nations, created in the aftermath of World War I, was designed to be the instrument to bring about world government. With the U.S. Senate's refusal to allow the U.S. entry into the League of Nations, the Money Trust decided to create an American organization to promote one world government within America. The CFR was designed to be a recruiting ground for those who would infiltrate the federal government, to promote one world government, as well as to infiltrate the media and industry. The money trust is a name given to a cabal of rich and powerful families who were captains of industry and banking at that time. These families included the Rockefellers, the Morgans, and the Warburgs. These were the same families that created the Federal Reserve Bank in 1913. Let's talk about the actions of the CFR. Some of the actions of the CFR since its founding includes the publication of its monthly magazine called Foreign Affairs. This magazine, which is still published today, was designed to do an end run around national sovereignty and to promote globalism. Let's talk about economic control. A driving factor behind the CFR is economic ambition. A prime example of this is the money trust's creation of the Federal Reserve Bank in 1913. Since the creation of this unconstitutional Federal Reserve Bank, which is neither federal nor does it have reserves, and in consequence of their massive counterfeiting operation, the value of the dollar has declined about 98%. This private cabal of international banks prints money out of nothing, then loans it back to the U.S. government at interest. For example, in 2016, over $432 billion of our federal budget is used to pay the Federal Reserve Bank for the privilege of borrowing their fiat currency. The Federal Reserve also, through its control of interest rates, is also able to scientifically engineer stock market collapses, such as in 1929 and 2008. The CFR was also influential in the creation of the United Nations in 1945. 47 of the U.S. delegates that attended the conference that created the United Nations were CFR members. CFR members were also prominent at the Bretton Woods Conference in 1945, where the World Bank and International Monetary Fund were created. These organizations were created to extend world government control over international finance. Let's talk about media control. CFR members have also been quite successful in consolidating control over the mainstream media. The mainstream media is controlled by 5 media conglomerates that own all of the major networks, magazines, and newspapers across the country. These 5 media conglomerates are the New York Times, the Washington Post, Time Warner, Disney, and News Corp. Each of these conglomerates are owned and operated by CFR members. Let's talk about government control. The CFR has been quite successful in infiltrating the U.S. government. Every presidential administration since the 1920s has been heavily populated by CFR members. This is true of both Democrat and Republican administrations. Even presidents that we considered conservative were heavily infiltrated by CFR members. For example, the Reagan administration had over 300 CFR members in their ranks, including Vice President George H.W. Bush. Even our current administration has some CFR members embedded in it. The purpose of this film is quite significant and quite timely. It is significant in that it reveals the most prominent organization promoting the demise of the United States, crushing it into a regional, then global government. The CFR has thousands of members that have successfully infiltrated government, media, and industry. This film is also quite timely in that for the first time in almost 30 years, we have a nationalist in the White House, determined to drain the swamp. The more we know about the CFR as citizens, the more pressure we can exert on the current administration to exterminate CFR members from the government of we, the people. Friends, we are out of time for today. The DVD ShowdowRing, 137 minutes long, is our featured product for March. If you would like to obtain a copy of this excellent film, please go to our website, www.SWPM, and click on the featured product on our homepage. ShowdowRing is available for a gift of $19.95 plus shipping. The website address again is www.swpm.us. Please join us next week for another Last Days Beacon program. Until then, this is David Schnitker. Thanks for listening.